Hello Stampers, it's Debbie with Stamp It with Debbie, and I'm here to talk to you about our brand new catalog. It's the August through December mini catalog, and it just went live today, and I'm so excited to share it with you. I'm just going to go ahead and get myself logged on my other page, so again I can make sure that I'm live and not talking to myself. And if you're here watching, just leave me a comment and let me know you're here. So today I'm going to talk to you about some things in the mini catalog. And it's brand new today. And there are lots of things in here. Christmas items, fall items, Halloween. Just things that you can use general every day too, a couple things. So I'm going to quickly go through here. Today I'm going to be focusing on just one item, and that's back towards the back of the catalog, and it is kind of in the fall section, and it's going to be the stamp set right here. Let me pull it over here so you can see. It's called Beautiful Autumn, and this Beautiful Autumn stamp set comes bundled, and you save 10% when you buy bundled, and it comes with these 3 punches. I'm going to be using those today as well. There's an acorn and 2 leaves, and they are so fun to work with. I'm also going to be using, from this same catalog, we have a new plaid paper. And it's back here on page 57. It's right here. The catalog doesn't do it justice, you guys. It is gorgeous. So I'm going to also be using this and showing you a sample from there. So let me... Again, I'm just trying to make sure I'm logged on, and I can't seem to figure out if I'm logged on or not. So hopefully you're here, and as always, you know that I don't answer comments during a live. It just gets too distracting. So I always go back and will respond to comments made. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to leave your question, and I'll be sure and answer it as soon as the video is done. So let me show you what we're going to make. And again, this is the catalog. It is good from now until December. Don't forget, if you earned bonus days coupons in July, you can now use them in August. And if you don't have a catalog, let me know. I'd be happy to send you one. All right, let me set that aside, and I'm going to show you. This is the card that I created today. This is in Cajun Craze, and I just love the way it looks. I like how you can see through. And it's kind of a fancy fold. I thought since it was a fancy day, we should celebrate with a fancy fold. And then I also did some decoration on my envelope because I don't like to send out naked envelopes. So this is what I'm going to show you how to create. I'm going to set this aside, and let me just talk to you a little bit about the paper and the punches real quick. This is the paper, and again, it's all plaid. Plaid is one of my favorites, and I'm just trying to fan it out a little bit so you can see. There's probably a few that I'm missing. Yep, I can see one right there. And then when you turn it over, there are other designs on the back. So you can see that this can be used for general every day. It could be used for fall. It can be used for winter, Christmas, all throughout the year. So this is what I'm going to be using today. And again, here's the Beautiful Autumn stamp set. And it has great, there is no Thanksgiving in there, but it's about autumn and being grateful to people, and life is better with you. Have a beautiful day. Hey there, thank you. And my heart is grateful for you. So I really like this for the sentiments. I like the font of the sentiments. So this is something that I'm going to use all year long and keep these greetings close at hand. So this is the stamp set we're using. And then this is the trio of punches. Now, I didn't measure how big they are, but let me grab one of my other punches so you can see. This is the butterfly punch. So you can see they're a little bit smaller. And we are going to be punching some shapes out of those, so you'll be able to see how they work, how easy they work, I should say. And so let's get started. I'm going to show you how to make this card. You will need a scoreboard, and you will need to be able to cut some paper. I'm using the cinnamon cider, and I have cut this to 5.5 by 11. I have a piece of designer paper, and I'm using that plaid tidings, and this is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, And when you cut that down from a 6, you're going to save this piece for the envelope. So all you're going to have is this little piece, whoops, right here. And I'm actually going to save that for a scrappy fall card later. So don't throw that piece away. We'll use that later. But for right now, again, this is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. You need a piece of Whisper White or whatever color you want to put on the inside, 4 by 5 1/4. And then this I cut out from the Stitched Nested Labels die. And that's these here. This is one of the smallest, not this very smallest, but the next one up. And then this is the next from largest. So I'm going to set those aside. And then grab my scoreboard. And we're just going to do a couple score lines here. We're going to score at 4 and 8 1/4. And that's it. Now, you also need to have some kind of cutting machine. And I'm not going to drag my Big Shot over here, but I am going to show you what I'm going to do. So on this end where we cut at 4, so here's the smaller end, this is the bigger end, we're going to put that Nested Labels die. And you could use an oval, you can use whatever die you have in there. And I'm just going to put it right there and run it through the Big Shot. So I'll be right back. I'm going to run this through really quickly. Okay, all done cutting. So now we're just going to take this off. And the thing that I like about this is there is stitching around here. I'm going to save this piece for another card later. And so here is our stitched piece. I'm going to set my die aside and I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper because I'm going to do a little bit of stamping and I don't want to get it on my mat. I'm just going to use the leaves. And I've mounted those here, and I'm going to use some of the cinnamon cider ink. And I'm just going to randomly stamp some leaves. Leave some room because I'm doing both of the leaves. I'm doing the maple and the oak leaf. So you want to stamp some upside down, some partially on, some off. And again, I'm going to use the same color, and leaves are always falling, so we want them to kind of be going in a lot of different shapes, or ways, direction, I should say. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. While I have my ink out, I am going to take my piece from the inside, and I thought that it would be cute to do a couple leaves down here. And I'm going to clean that off because I decided that I wanted to have a couple different colors. So I'm going to grab my cherry cobbler and my crushed curry. Now you could do these leaves falling down the page if you'd rather. One more here. I'm going to use cherry cobbler. And I think this one will kind of be falling to the side. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now you could do a little stamping on the front of your envelope too if you wanted. Now the only other thing that I need to do is a little stamping for that greeting piece. I like to do all my stamping first and then go back and assemble it. So I'm going to stamp on this nested label die. My heart is grateful for you. And then on the inside, there's a stamp that says, have a beautiful day. And I thought that made kind of a good general type card. It doesn't have to be a Thanksgiving card, just a fall looking card to say I'm thinking of you today. All right, now we're going to go ahead and assemble. We're going to take our bone folder and we're going to make sure all those lines are burnished very well because we want our card to close up here. And then I'm going to grab my envelope real quick. Okay, this piece that we stamped, that can go right on the inside. I always say stamp first and then put it in your card second, because if you make a mistake, you can re-stamp, but we've already done our stamping, so I'm going to put that right there. And then this piece of designer paper is going to adhere here on this flap so that when you look at it from the outside, you can see it. So that means that we're not going to be able to put adhesive all the way around. So what I kind of like to do is look at my paper, kind of hold my finger there, and then I'll just put a little adhesive. Now what I'm lining this up to, this edge, I'm going to line up to this white that I put inside, so that kind of helps me keep it straight. And then I'll just make sure that it's very adhered there. And then here's the outside. Now I'm going to put this right here, and again, I'm just going to kind of use my finger to guesstimate where it goes. And I liked mine about center, but I guess let's put it down just a little bit. Then we can see more of our pretty paper. Okay, now I'm going to get a few scraps of my other color paper. Again, I'm going to use, I think I'll use the Bumblebee, and I'll use Cherry Cobbler, and I'll use Pumpkin Pie. These are my scraps, and I'm just going to cut a couple leaves here. See how easy that is? And then for the acorn, I'm going to use the cinnamon cider. I don't know if I'll use that on here, but I'll have it punched out just in case. A couple more leaves. You could use these on the inside as well. Instead of stamping those, you could use the punched image. I'm going to show you one other thing too, and that's why I'm punching a few extras. And I'll always use these later. I'm going to get a little container, and this is a great way to use up some of your scraps. All right, put my scraps aside there, and then I'm just going to use a little liquid adhesive, and I'm going to grab a couple of my leaves and just stick them right on the side here. You don't want to put it on the whole leaf because it does hang off over your card a little bit, and you don't want to glue your card shut. And then I think I'll use a little oak leaf down here. All right, I'm actually not going to use the acorn right now. And then the last thing that I wanted to do is I'm taking some of the linen thread and I'm going to double it up. And I'm just going to create a bow. And so I just used 2 pieces because I want it to have a little more of a full look than just one. So I'm going to cut those off so they're even here. Get rid of my scraps. I'm going to bring in a glue dot. And I like to fold my glue dots in half when I'm adhering a bow. That way it doesn't stick my card together. And I'm going to put it right there on my leaves. Isn't that so cute? It does cover up the grateful a little bit, but I'm okay with that. Now, if you wanted to step this up a little bit, you could add some gems or some rhinestones or something. Now, I want to show you how to do the envelope. All right, that little extra piece that we had that we don't want to go to waste, we're just going to stick it right here on the tab. So the easiest way to do that is stick some adhesive, and you do want to have it on the edge pretty good because that's where, of course, the card is going to be sticking down the most. And then we're going to open that up so we can see better. Take our piece of cardstock. It is too big, but I'm going to show you a little trick. Make sure it's adhered very well. Turn it over, and we're just going to cut that off. That's a really easy way to make our card match our envelope very easily. And how pretty would that be in the mailbox instead of bills, huh? Now, let me just show you. So how cute is that? Isn't that so cute? Now, the last thing that I want to show you, I'm going to bring these up here because I'm going to show you one more thing. When you cut for this card, it's 5.5 by 11, which you're not going to get two pieces, or I'm sorry, two cards out of one piece of cardstock. So what you're left with is a 3" by 11" strip. And so I started wondering, what could I make with this? Now I cut it in half because that would be even. So now I have a 3" by 5.5" strip. And I'm going to take that, and half of 5.5 is 2 3/4. So I'm just going to score that and fold it in half. And then I forgot to grab a piece of paper, so let me grab it real quick. We need a piece of paper that is, because that's 3 by 2 3/4 now. So we need 2 3/4 by 2.5. And so I'm just cutting that real quick here because I forgot to grab it before. And then now we could put this on here, and at Thanksgiving or something else at fall, sometimes we like to have reserved seating. You could put someone's name on there. Or at Thanksgiving time, sometimes we have different foods and we want everyone to know what they are. So you can write those foods on here. Or this would just be a really little cute note card to give someone. And they could have it out on their desk or somewhere else that they can see. It just is small, so it doesn't take up a lot of room. And then we're going to use a few of those little pieces we cut out. I'm actually planning the nursing home that my husband's grandma was in has a lot of patients, and they have dinner out at a common area every day. And I'm going to make a bunch of these up and just put something in there. My heart is grateful for you, probably. And have them put these out on the table for when they have dinner. That way it just is a little decoration for them. And so isn't that super cute? Just a little something. It doesn't have to be something big to touch someone's heart. So again, today we're talking about the beautiful autumn bundle. Again, it comes with this stamp set and 3 punches if you want to put it together in a bundle, and you save 10%. If you need supplies for this card or any other project, or you want to check out my online store, I'm going to leave a link in the comments below so that you can find me. I would appreciate if you would use my host code, and I'll also leave that in the comments below. And if your order today is $50 or more, I will send you a free embellishment, one of my favorite embellishments from the new catalog. So join me tonight at 7 o'clock. I'm going to be having a kickoff, and I'm going to have several projects I'm sharing with you. I hope that you'll join me. If you're finding me here on YouTube, look down below right here in this corner, the right-hand corner. Click the subscribe button so that you never miss a post. And find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Stamp It with Debbie. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I'll see you again soon.